Ooh, how's it, folks? Silver Sleuth here. Welcome back to the channel, or just plain old welcome if this is your first time visiting. Live! This week's episode of State of the Stack. It's where we talk about precious metals and stuff with people that stack precious metals and stuff. I'm foregoing the use of an official tripod today because the ones that I have are junk. Probably should buy a brand new one instead of trying to depend on one that someone didn't want anymore because it's junk. But anyhow, first off, I want to thank everybody hey, Chew, what's up? See, I'm getting pretty good at that. Didn't take me that long to figure out someone was here and said hi. Maybe they're gone already. I don't know. Nope. Thank you for the like. But anyhow, yeah, so time flies. It's been 3 months since I kind of discovered YouTube precious metal stacking, coin collecting community content. Um, I've, I've had YouTube for a while. I didn't really use it a whole lot. I used it mostly for I viewed like videos of puppies and cats and funny stuff and prepping, soft core prepping to hardcore prepping, survivalist, SHTF, all that kind of stuff. Don't hold it against me. I'm old. Motivations and ideas change over time. Platinum, my only platinum. Front and center, or almost center. Never mind. So anyway, yeah, 3 months ish. Um, so appreciate everybody. Oh, hello, 7 Stacks and the MR Investor Channel. What does MR stand for? And if it's none of my business. But anyhow, thank you. Thanks for and greetings. Thanks for showing up today. Um, so anyway, there's a lot to be said in the stacking community. This week's been kind of exciting. Um, I try not to, voice my opinions too much on stuff that I feel like there might be a little pushback on. Not because I'm afraid, just because I just don't want to deal with it. 4 9's fine. Wow. Greetings. Um, well, and part of my mission is, I'm trying to find myself still at 65 years of age. Um, Not just stacking. I kind of feel like I got that down. I kind of feel like that I don't need to seek any more medals. Um, but, time will tell. But so all this talk and channels and, I probably should go over the lineup here. I'm going to talk about honest money. I'm going to talk about fractional gold. And speaking of being on here for 3 months, posting some videos, I don't know how many I've put out there, but quite a few of them are in favor of fractional gold. Um, right or wrong. Um, SHTF and Gator versus Yankee. So, I don't know, maybe I'm an economic ethicist. Is is believing in honest money and ethical financial systems naive? Has silver and gold been honest money that throughout history has been manipulated by greedy, malevolent, evil turds? Oh, am I allowed to say that word? Fecal matter? And if so, will it continue to be that way? Or will any reserve currency reset or crash be an opportunity to adopt an honest monetary policy that represents a true transfer of labor and or production as a method of commerce? I don't know. these are the questions that I ask myself now that I've answered. Well, should I get 84 more eagles or uh, the equivalent in today's monetary price in gold? I went the silver route. So since I've been watching these channels and learning new stuff and learning new ideas, you can teach an old dog new tricks, or at least you can try. Um, so I'm kind of thought some of this stuff through already. I'm going to continue to, just out of habit, because I don't want to have too much cash for whatever reason on hand, converted to gold and or silver for all the reasons why I started stacking in the past. And there's a lot of reasons. It's not just this, that, or the other thing. It's a combination. And I actually acquired these motivations um, over the years. And sometimes, hey, Tyrone, whoa, Weldon Carey, what's up? Thanks for showing up. You haven't missed much. Just a quick introductions. Trent, wow. Thank you. Um, you didn't miss anything. And if you're starting from the beginning, or push that little red line to the left and put it on speed 1.25 or 1.5. That'll be probably good for your mental health, because I've been known to ramble and stammer and stutter. But I say I haven't missed much. And so uh, I want to thank the channel, besides showing up, uh, but for giving me an opportunity to reconsider, reinforce, um, and reestablish my connection with precious metal collection slash stacking and the reasons why. So over the course of the last, almost 30 years, yeah, my dominant motivating factor for stacking has changed from time to time. It's jostled back and forth, almost like a horse race before that never ends. You know, one one subject matter will take the lead, and a lot of that's dependent on personal experience and things that are happening in life at that time. If you get confronted with a big hospital bill with or without insurance, which I have recently, I think it's natural to make your head spin a little bit and say, "Wow, what do I do? Oh, now I got to reprioritize. Now I got to re-strategize." Um, so that's life. I'm not complaining. I'm not grumbling, but I did want to get that out there. And if anybody has an honest opinion on whether or not we could return to honest money, if you believe gold and silver are honest money and have been since they wrote the Constitution and whatever amendments a few years after that they put in there. So well, let's get right off the bat. So yeah, honest money. Secondly, fractional gold. Okay, I've been noticing. I mean, I've what do you call it, posted uh, a few videos on fractional gold. I'm a proponent. There's some people. Wow, they've got really good mathematical reasons to buy fractional gold if you're concerned about what do you call it, dollar cost averaging. Um, really smart stuff. But I had different motivations why I wanted fractional, and it wasn't even budgetary reasons. It was mostly availability. And then again, through different influences, sometimes it was a fictional book, sometimes it was a non-fictional book. I saw the benefit of getting fractional gold, not so much fractional silver. I actually had made a conscious effort not to get big 10 ounces, or heaven forbid 100 ounces. The biggest I ever got, and it was by accident, was kilos, a couple Australian kilos, a year of the, I don't know, lunar or something. One's a dragon and the other one's a kookaburra. And they're big hunks of silver. They're not practical. Uh, they're not that tough to store. They don't take up whole lot more space, like proof boxes or special set boxes. Even the slab thingies are really convenient to stack. And these things, whether they're loose or in a tube or in a capsule or in whatever these little thingies are called, or these are little assay cards. I just love it all. I love them all. And this is when I hesitate to use this word, but this is back when gold and silver was cheap. Granted, I wasn't making a whole lot of money back then, but it sure seems proportion wise a lot better opportunity, income versus the retail value or the retail selling prices of gold and silver in all different forms, bars. And I don't have that many bars. For some reason, hey, Liberty bleeds, yo. For some reason, I didn't. I just thought I never thought bars would. I didn't know about collecting, serious collecting. I shudder to think all the different bars that I had the opportunity to purchase instead of being just a hunk of silver, different form, same weight, whatever, or five of them together equal 1/5. Wow, it probably hurt my feelings, but I just never dreamt that bars would be collectible or anything like that. For me, um, I, I kind of liked the look of coins better. I had a 10-ounce Engelhard bar. I'm sure it was a hand-me-down, and I just didn't like it. It was a hand-me-down from my father, and I don't know where in the world he got it, but yeah, it just didn't fit my plan. And then one day, the prices started going up, and I don't know, 2011, and then all of a sudden it was like crazy high. And I noticed because I was on eBay selling pottery and postcards and barrister bookcases and oak furniture and gizmos and cast iron and cookbooks and all kinds of stuff like that. And then when I'd go to buy, when I'd have some money, um, to buy precious metals, I noticed, wow, the prices are really going up. And, I balked a couple times, or I show up thinking I'm going to take home 10 ounces, 10 1-ounce Eagles, and I might only be taking 9, and then 8, and then 7, and then 6. Whoa, wait, what's going on? Cyclops stacks. Thank you for showing up. Majority of my stack is small gold and big silver. Well, I can appreciate that strategy now. And now that I'm a new stacker, I'm I feel good on Eagles. I feel good on stuff that I've already got. I wouldn't mind venturing out into the bar thingy. I really kind of want to learn, get a forge and pour, melt, smelt, and pour. Every size, the majority. Okay, I got that one. Liberty Bleeds Silver says, I have every size of silver up to 20 ounce, but only fractional gold. I, I want to get a silver kilo next. I don't blame you. It's fun. It's cool. And, you know, all the cost average and size and premium stuff aside, this is kind of what's going along uh, the theme of today's State of the Stack episode. You know, I'll go ahead and get to that here real soon. But I applaud that. Pouring silver is great fun. Yeah, it looks like I could hurt myself, but I've been taking notes and trying to figure out where I can buy the. They don't sell that kind of stuff at Goodwill. I found that out already. So I'm gonna have to venture out online. I think I'm having difficulty finding out whether anybody will ship one of these cool forge um, or smelters. They're not that expensive, but getting it shipped to Hawaii seems to be an ordeal. Dual steam garbage. I don't know what is that, but if it has something to do with smelting and pouring, I hope to find out about it. Um, but anyhow, so yeah, I understand all that. And people's budgets are people's budgets, and people's opinions. But in my opinion, if somebody's using weight and World Money Wins has a great exercise in this. Check out his video. It's in pen and paper too, where he buys a bunch of different fractions of maybe even a gram, a tenth, a quarter, and a half over the course of a month. And he's been doing now for about 10 and a half months, maybe 11 months already. It's pretty fascinating. And to me, it proves it doesn't matter. And here's what, so here's what I was thinking. So, I'm not against 1 ounce gold pieces. And I possess a few, but I've had the advantage of getting the majority of all that at a fraction of today's prices, right? I'm not bragging, and I don't. What's it? Fractional Fiesta. I like that. Olay. Uh, so, Pete, in today's prices, grams and a tenth of an ounce hunks of gold um, is with any strategy I think that can be followed. I followed it in 1998. And in today's higher priced environment, I do understand that buying 31 grams of gold, 1 gram at a time, right, costs more than buying 1 ounce of gold in a coin form, in one form, 1 ounce coin. If you buy that ounce the day you buy that first gram, I understand that. And the discussion of the subjects takes me back to when I came to my conclusion regarding why I stacked precious metal bullion in the first place. Keeping a tangible asset out of the, we'll call it the central bank fractional banking controlled system. And system is a good word. So diversifying and preserving, I'm not drinking today. I don't drink. Um, Preserving wealth alongside other methods like annuities and blue chip dividend stocks, cash flow producing real estate, and plain old saving Federal Reserve notes for a rainy day or stuffing them in your mattress or keeping it in a bank. And I'm not going to go into why I don't favor that part of it. So I guess it comes down to why someone buys physical gold. Is it to flip for a fast profit? In that case, my reason for stacking really conflicts with, that kind of arbitrage motive, or is it to hold long term for a myriad of reasons similar to mine? If so, and do you believe that gold prices will eventually keep rising? I do, and I have. Uh, if you don't pay attention to it constantly, daily, all the time, like a lot of us do, I try not to, but it's hard to not. If you're watching, the precious metal stacking community videos, it's out there, and I get it. But um, so, and if you think that the price of gold eventually is going to rise, how high? Well, there's lots of predictions and lots of charts and lots of statistics out there that might help somebody come up with their own estimate of the future. And so if you're looking at a future increased value, whether it's in the form of the current currency or possible value after financial system reset or collapse, uh, let, let's look at any perceived premium attached to fractional weights of gold bullion as a fact of life. Okay, so let's say you can get a 1 ounce coin or bar of gold for, say, $2,700. I know spot's 26 something. I don't know what uh, Louis would let us know how much the best deal is on an ounce of gold, whether it be an eagle or a buffalo. And I know buffaloes are going to be a little bit more, but let's just call it all 2,700. And if it's a special gold coin, it might be more than that. But I'm not talking about special coins. I'm just talking about plain Jane stuff like that. Although that's special now. But this stuff, bullion, just mass produced and in fractional weights. And so you got this ounce, and let's call it $2,700. So 2,700 divided by 31.103. I don't know what that's about, 86, 87, 88 bucks. So let's call it 87 bucks a gram per gram. And now let's say that you buy fractional gold, whether it's a gram or a tenth of an ounce or a quarter ounce or even a half of an ounce. Premiums are going to change, but let's call it an 8% premium. And in the end, you end up paying $3,000 an ounce over the time. That's versus the 27. So 2,700. Let's call it $87 a gram. If you do it over time, let's call it 96 bucks a gram. That's $9 more per gram. Are you? And I know you can multiply it out to make this sound like nonsense, but in, and if you believe in the price is going to keep rising, whether that's slowly, hopefully not parabolically, but if you believe that, and and if you believe that there's so many more years left for that to happen, um, and again, I have the advantage of been through that period already. But if so, you're not going to care in 5 years that you paid an extra $9 per gram for this, that, or the other thing, and it's could be more than likely that you're not going to care that you paid $300 more for a 1 ounce coin that you scrimped and saved and worked hard and perspired in order to afford, without neglecting, your other obligations and responsibilities. So I don't know. I'm glad you're here, whoever's still here. Oh, here's some chat. Let's go into the chat. Gold and silver will be long after we expire. Currencies will come and go. Gold, precious metals while you're here. I agree. Amen. I was going to say something a little. I believe God put enough of everything on the earth for as long as the earth's going to be in existence. But so I'm not worried about silver shortages or running out or oil or peak oil or any of that stuff. Some gold, Liberty States, is better than no gold. And if, no kidding, and if all you can get is a small amount, get it. Yeah, I bought some fractional gold a year and a half ago, and I've already made my premiums back, no problem. Well, that's one way to look at it, and I can appreciate that because uh, you know, you're, uh, you're not done. And the best skill that a stacker can have is patience. I think that's good. Now, I found all this stuff out by accident. I was too busy working, too busy scheduling, too busy planning all these other things because there's more to life than just stacking precious metals. I was a prepper for, wow, over a decade or more before I even learned about the fiat system, the financial banking system. Read a book by Ron Paul, early 80s. Opened my eyes. Didn't cause me to act on it yet, but a friend later on, a coin collector, I'm not even sure they called it stacking back then, but he saw the value in it. And then time does fly. Time flies. So I cannot agree more with the um, hey, they're back. Dub C. Didn't know you were here in the first place. Hey, welcome back. Silver Stallion. Yo. Um, so yeah, that's great. So I don't feel like I'm the only one rowing in my fractional gold boat. Bought and held 25 years ago. Now I look like a genius. Well, yeah, but, and I feel the same way, but I just feel like it's this, I feel it's more of a fortunate luck, not luck, but fortunate to be born earlier than other people and having exposure. Now, I know people that are older than me that they probably have no clue about any of this stuff. Yeah, they remember the coins in their change that sounded funny, but I don't know what it is that's inside of us people, us stacker types, um, that saw what I would call the sense in stacking, whether you want to call it stacking, collecting. I can definitely understand collecting. I'm like, gosh, even just a plain Jane little tenth of an ounce um, gold eagle with Roman numerals for date, which I'm not a fan of because I can't see them too well, but I can tell that that's a bunch of Roman numerals versus This one has a regular. Yeah, see, that's got numerals. Yeah, it looks like 1999 or one question mark, question mark, question mark. But okay, so here we go. We got some more chat. You guys were smart enough to stack early in life. I wish I would have been. Uh, hey, Liberty, I don't disagree with that statement, but I don't think it has a whole lot to do with intelligence. I mean, if I was smart, I would have been stacking in 1977. I have no idea what was available back then or how much the prices were, but I had other priorities. You could possibly say that, I stacked different substances back when I was a teenager. I stacked Marlboros, other kinds of stuff, which I might not even be allowed to say on the YouTube. I could probably spell it backwards and not get suspended. So I don't know if it was intelligence. I don't think it was luck, because I do think that luck is an acronym for labor under correct knowledge. But I think it's fortunate to be in the right place at the right time with the right mindset, exposed to the right kind of people or situations. And so, yeah, because if I was a genius or smart, instead of pouring a bunch of money down my gullet, while on a bar stool, and they got nothing to show for it except for some yellow liquid that I don't even get to keep or don't want to keep. Yeah, I don't see much. I don't think that's too smart. So I think it's just a matter of living long enough. But and that kind of, I don't know, amplifies my point now. So no matter what your age, even and again, I'm restarting stacking at 65 years of age. So yeah, yeah, $4. I remember when it was like $8. Like, what? You're crazy. That's highway robbery. But so so I was gonna say, I'm gonna get off of this fractional gold thing because I think I have a couple more things. I've actually wrote down not an outline, but just 4 pages. Fractional gold, a case for it, honest money. I've been through that. I'll probably skip the SHTF and Gator versus Yankee. And I'm trying to see how long. Oh, it's been 27 minutes. Maybe I'll save that for a different live or a non-live. Um, but anyway, despite my personal reasons to possess physical gold and silver, uh, includes all kinds of possibilities that some others might consider as doomsday, SHTF-ish. I believe in my message to encourage others to get what you can, when you can, while you can, without neglecting other priorities and obligations. Thanks. Oh, that's me. Oh, thanks, Dub C. See ya. I'm wrapping up here anyway. You're not going to miss anything. And I do think I think I got to touch some buttons after this and make it to publish like if it was just a regular non-live. But thanks for showing up. Um, and thanks for watching. So I don't see how many, well, I don't know how many people are left. It looks like gotta bail, not bailing, dude. It's life. Get on with life. Speed safely. Thank you. Aloha. Dinner. Whoa. I like the sound of that. I'm glad I can't smell it because it would make me hungry. But anyhow, um, thanks to who, I don't know who's left or how many are left. Like, it looks like I got 10 thumbs up though, and that's awesome. Don't know what it means. I mean, it just means 10 people are polite or agree with what I'm saying or just want to, help support me with those algorithms. But anyhow, so that's it. I think guess I'll have to cover. I don't know. I definitely. I don't. Okay, so I'll give you. This is a preview. Me have to deal me. Bye, Silver. Oh, you're here. You're still here. All right. Oh, it's us, you and me. All right, dude. Well, have you, I don't know, maybe there's a, there's some, there's like a couple little feuds going on every once in a while in the stacking community, right? I just think it's funny. I don't get too bent out of shape. I've had a couple snide comments left for me, and I like I prefer to do kind of rebut somebody in person, but having the luxury to sit back and collect your thoughts and you know just give them an honest rebuttal. I think it's fun. But yeah, so probably going to let that settle for a little while. Stallion, great logo, by the way. I mean, you have a really well produced presentations on your videos. Yeah, I'm the opposite, and I don't mind. Maybe that's my what do you call it? My branding, just kind of rambling and disorganized and not very tech. Oh, the above, it's sad. Uh, oh, what's sad? Oh, the infighting and stuff. Yeah, I'm not. I don't. I, it's interesting. It kind of reminds me of real life. Stop being yes, and support each other. Yeah, and so. Oh, you're welcome. I appreciate you're giving me the inspiration to be kind. I like kindness. And that's it. If you have nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all. Um, I don't, I agree with that. I don't feel the need to get on someone else's channel and, stick it to them somehow. Now, if I will sometimes take the opportunity to stand up for myself or maybe answer maybe a snide or backhanded comment, um, on my channel. So I'm replying to their comment on my channel. I don't know. Is that juvenile? Maybe, probably. Hey, I never. Just because I'm old doesn't mean I'm mature. But hello, OC Stacker. So I wonder if that means Orange County. I see it orange. Your logo looks orange. It's really. Oh, it almost looks like a sunset with maybe even a palm tree. It's so small. It's smaller than. It's really small on my phone. But well, you didn't miss much, OC. But I sure appreciate you showing up. And oh wow, I wish I could figure out how many people are on here. But since I'm kind of done, I've decided to um, delay a couple topics that I was going to cover because I didn't want this to go into a marathon session. It does, OC California. I figured that. Uh, see, I'm pretty hip. I just ate watching. Definitely stick up for yourself, but don't go down there. Yeah, no, I don't. I'd rather make fun of. I'd rather make fun of them in a non-offensive way. But and I'm like that in real life, but very rarely. People really got to push my buttons before they'll light any kind of a fuse, and I don't. I'm too old. I was a redneck, slightly intense uh, human, male human. Your true lens like you for you. Yes, I also believe that people will dislike me for me being me sometimes. Not so much on here, but in real life throughout, my lifetime. And then, after you're an adult and you go back to your hometown or you go to the Sweet Corn Festival or whatever it is, local event, alumni banquet, homecoming, football game, and you run into people that don't really recognize them, but you think maybe that could be somebody you went to school's brother or sister, or and then and then you find out, wow, they kind of liked me back then. I, I've been surprised like that a couple times. I've not been surprised by people not liking me. Um, I don't know. Some people just didn't. Um, Very few, though. I think, at least in high school. Of course, it wasn't a big uh, pool of contestants. So from freshmen, so 9, 10, 11, and 12, less than 200 combined students in high school ever. Uh, you know, kindergarten through preschool, kindergarten through grade 12, all in the same big old brick building until 1977. Okay, so let's go back to the chat because I don't want to talk. What goes around comes around. That's true. It really is true. Um, billion people in the world. It's okay if everyone doesn't like you. Isn't that the truth? Oh my gosh, can you imagine trying to please everybody? 210 stacks. All right. Uh, and so Liberty Believes Silver says, you're like me, Sleuth. We're not for most, but perfect for the right ones. Yeah, I like that. I'm not, I don't know. I'm not sure I've been perfect for anybody, except my dad, the best friend I ever had, will ever have. But yeah, I just don't dwell on that kind. I'm just too busy, and I'm kind of too simple-minded. I can only do so many things at once. That's why I got to write stuff down. I got to have a to-do list. I got to have two or three different calendars for different events, and um, yeah. But well, that's great. Thanks for the audience participation. I'm looking back through the chat, and in case I ate watching. Wow. In case I can see something I didn't notice. Yes, people need to grow up. Um, Cyclops is old. Welcome to the club. Silver Stallion, that's crazy to me. Welcome to the club. I'm crazy. Um, okay. Here's a good one. Only 1% of the population stacks. Yeah, I put a little, not much. I put a little effort in to find out. In 2020, it was, I think, estimated at 20% and silver and 10% uh, gold, but I don't think that was geared towards stacking. I just think some possession of it. And it's possible that could include jewelry, because if you include gold and silver jewelry, there's a lot of people out there that have physical gold, whether it's 12 karat or 14 karat or 10K or 18K, and don't even know it. They just know, dang, that was expensive. Oh, I can get it on credit. How much are the payments? Oh, I can afford that. And they stick it on around their neck and or rings or fingers or wrists and sometimes toes, and just go about their life. Aloha sleuth, yes. So anyway, wow, this is great feedback. I really like doing this without a tripod, because this way I can look through the very, very, very small print um, about this. So yeah. Whoops. Hello. What happened there? I touched something I shouldn't have. At least I claimed on the tray. Yes, 1%. So it's a small percentage. I really do think so. And I think um, if we were to categorize people's gold and silver possessions, I think jewelry, um, like even watches. I know there's some of those are made out of the bands or whatnot, got gold movements, whatever. But yeah, I think it'd be a really low percentage. And I also think that as prices rise, especially on gold, and I think I talked about this. What are you gonna do with all your money or gold if you've been stacking for 30 years and you're 60, say 5 or older, you're retired, you're kind of set, right? And, you've got a bunch of money in the bank. My first question, is why? What are you saving it for? Um, and so these are questions I've been asking myself lately. And yeah, so I think some of this, you watch some of these, especially the coin shop channels where they're, oh, I can't keep gold in stock, or oh, I got too much gold. People are bringing it in because they're selling it, trading it for United States U.S. dollars, for whatever a myriad of reasons. I've seen, someone mentioned, oh, they had to pay some taxes, um, or I'm leaving the country because I can't put up with this, that, and the other thing anymore. Or, hey, we're going to take that cruise that we've been talking about for the last, uh, whatever, years. So I think, oh, back to the chat. We're all unique in our own ways. Yes, we are. Thank goodness, right? I wouldn't want to live in a world of nothing but silver sleuths. Sorry. Uh, So many dang people would just look at your table. Oh, hi, Matt T. This is from Matt T Coins. So many dang people would look at your table and automatically decide they don't like you more than they do jealous people. Um, yeah, I don't know if that's directed at me personally, but I just think in life people, can be petty and uh, envious, jealous. Take that cruise. Yeah. I tell you, I think I've completed my bucket list. I've had a few bucket lists. I've had a couple aspirations dashed. Um, One was to go to Vietnam. And I was, if you could see how close my fingers are together, I was this close to doing that before the shutdown. So that was an opportunity that was squashed by events I didn't have any control over, but turned out it could have been a blessing in disguise because I was able to get a killer deal on a four-cylinder Tacoma and get a 0% interest rate, even though I had already decided I was just firm. I am never buying anything on credit again. But, times change. Take that cruise. So, yeah, so but I think that just comes up. I get jealous of people. I get jealous of young people. I get jealous of guys my age that still have a bunch of hair. I've still got some hair, but not like some guys 70 years old. It's like, whoa, you have to almost look close. That's got to be fake, right? But no, they got a ton of hair. My brother's one of them. My brother's 73. He's still got just a ton of hair. And I don't mean lengthwise. I mean density wise. So my hair has kind of but slowly but surely been transferring from the top of my head, the crown of my head, down to my beard and nose and ears. Good fun. But Hito. I used to be able to twirl my R's like in Spanish. No, I cannot do it anymore. At one time I could have, but maybe if I was not so tired, I tell you. But I really love it between 3 a.m. and it's about 6:30. That's when everybody else starts waking up. And I really like the quiet, peaceful, uh, perfect temperature. I mean, I make jokes. Oh, it's a chilly 73 at 3:30 in the morning. Uh, you know, I'll be wearing just a tank top and shorts and sweating profusely while other locals are, bundling up, got a hoodie, stocking cap, which we used to call watch cap when I was in the Navy. But okay, back to the chat. Recap. Take that cruise. Hito, man. Liberty Believes Silver. I like to learn from people that have more than I do. I don't get jealous. I get motivated. You're right, though. Some people are like that at Matt. Yeah, but I think that's human tendency. I think I think that explains why humans have been killing each other over this kind of stuff ever since there was practically humans. Yeah, don't you agree? Uh, but Matt T coins. I never understood the mentality of we grow hair in places. One thing I've never worried about. Yeah, 'cause you probably already got hair, Matt. I don't hate you though. I am jealous. Aside from this week, if y'all ever come to Florida, you need to hit me up. I love meeting cool and like-minded people. Uh, Silver, that's interesting that we'd say that because I've talked more to other people, granted, pretty anonymously, about gold and silver and stacking than I have my whole life combined. And to be able to do that in person, and I have, but that was a long time ago. coin shop. You talk to the coin shop guy after he got to know you and trust you, and you and with him or her, but they were all hymns, uh, and hymns of sons. But yeah, but other side outside of that professional environment, especially, or the occasional uh, friend or acquaintance or high school chum that somehow has at least a crossover into that. But it's hard. The subject never really came up that much. That's one of the things. Okay, back to never understood. No, I did that. Aside from this, okay, we're all caught up in chat. At least I am. Um, what were we just talking about? Oh yeah, so it never came up in conversation, but I have noticed that a few stackers, besides also being stackers of knives and stackers of sardines, oh, that's me, and all different kinds of collectors, uh, you anywhere near the path of that storm? Well, thank goodness he's far enough away from it to have internet access. I lived through, actually, I've lived through a hurricane, Hurricane Eva. I'm trying to think when that was, in some mid '80s, I think. Couple blizzards, tropical depression when we were at sea once, and a freak wind shear storm that I'd never heard of the term before, and I think they made it up that year in 2012 called a derecho. That was bad, but it was in July. It was weird. Okay, back to the chat. Liberty bleeds silver. Phoenix Coins, Blue Collar Stacker, Pirate Stacker, and Steve, aka Fish, all live in Florida at Stallion. Lots of Florida community creators for sure. I like Florida. I did notice a difference between the Gulf Coast and the ocean side. I felt like the Gulf side had more like bugs, but I like the ocean. I like the water better on the Gulf side, even though it was buggier, as it wasn't as scary. Oceans are scary. I live out in the middle of nowhere. I think it's one of the most remote island chains in the world as far as distance from any other landmass, whether it be an island or a continent. Um, so yeah, can you imagine that? Uh, and I'm a super minority, which I don't dwell on, but uh, you kind of got to be cognizant of your standing in the societal stratus of your community that you live in. Although I don't get out much, and quite probably in the future I won't get out at all. But I hate spending money I don't gotta. So that's why I work 3 days a week for an employer, in order to not have to pay for Medicare Plan B, which is required. You can cheat, but if they catch you, they will not only penalize you at that point, uh, they will penalize you for life as far as your Social Security benefit is. And I'm just not, I don't really, I can't think of any, I can think of stuff I'd love to have, but not important enough. I mean, and I have some money stashed for last minute, spur of the moment, although I plan for it every night before I go to sleep. I plan what to do with my stash, my stack of fiat, just in case when I wake up the next day, things have radically changed. Uh, you know, and on the same token, I'm thinking that my goal was when I made it to 70 years of age, if something didn't get in the way, like whether it's a currency reset or a crash of some sort, or any kind of possibly SHTF type occurrence. But realistically, I'm thinking, well, when I'm 70, I'm going to pull all this stuff out uh, and figure out what to do with it after I figured out what I want to do with it, and how could I convert it to whatever's being used as money at that time, assuming that nothing's going to change between now and the next 5 years. And it most likely is not. Most likely, we're just there. The government's going to just keep kicking the can down the road, and they're just going to keep making the can heavier and heavier, making it when they kick it, it doesn't go very far. And there's a really good possibility that nothing's going to change. And actually, if you think about it, yeah, it's got to change, but I think it's got to change for the good. But that's just me. But I'd rather be prepared for something not quite so optimistic, and that way anything above that is gravy. It's like, oh, uh, people strive for happiness. I do not strive for happiness. I strive for non-misery, and anything above non-misery is bonus gravy. It just helps me keep my sanity. So here we go. Back to the chat. Get those. Okay, okay, here we go. I'm in Central Florida, so it might go over me. Oh, there's still a chance. There's still a. Oh, I didn't know. I don't follow it close enough because it's sad. Every one of these guys almost like me. They're all super cool. Oh, okay. The Florida guys. Um, Central Florida, it might go over right now. I sure hope so. Or to the left or to the right. Go out to lunch with them and make some videos for us, would you? Those are cool. I've seen some collaborations, and I don't mind the super channels going into the coin shops and interviewing them. I don't begrudge people for whatever their motivation is to do whatever it is they're doing, as long as they're not, um, you know, hurting other people. I don't. I mean, and it's it's no different than the Medicare commercials that come on the television. You can just change the channel or fast forward or you know, go do something different. Get those sandbags down. Stay safe, Stallion. Yes, I concur. I was actually, and here's a quote out of the chat from Silver Stallion. I was actually trying to meet Fish, but somebody else said that he probably wouldn't want to meet me. And again, that was somebody speaking for him and not for himself. So, you think fish don't like horses? I don't. Maybe, but I can't imagine anybody not liking you. Because you don't. I don't think you. I've watched your videos. You don't get political, or I don't think. I don't. And I don't. Can't really recall anybody on these channels that are feel offensive to me. Now in the prepper world, yeah. Oh my gosh, talk about vitriol. I had a prepper channel. I don't. I just did it for therapy, and at the time, I really did want to help others to open up their eyes to different um, economical ways to get ready for maybe not SHTF, but man, the blizzard of '77 taught me put some stuff back, keep a shovel in your trunk, keep that rock salt in your trunk if you live north. And sure enough, a year later, the blizzard of '78, I was in North Chicago at the time. It I'm not gonna tell you it saved my life, but it made my life a lot less miserable. And I think I've already adopted the not seeking happiness, I'm just seeking non-misery attitude. So yeah, it paid off, and then it paid off during Hurricane Eva. It paid off during the Derek show. Paid off so many ways. And then on top of that, you get the bonus of opening up a can of tuna that day, if you were to go buy it, would be $1.79, and you've still got the 79-cent price tag on yours, right next to a slightly outdated Best Buy date, or sometimes still beneath that, what some people might call the spoiled date or whatever. It's Best Buy. Trust me, I've eaten canned goods that are 7 years beyond that Best Buy date. Um, trust your nose, trust your eyes. If the can's damaged, when you buy it, eat that one first. If it's got a dent, even a small dent. Uh-oh, what'd I do? Nothing. So I get to know to a channel. Let me see. I was actually trying to meet fish. We did it there. We don't get them. We get the tornadoes that might drop out of the sky. Yes, there was a tornado. I think it was 1974 or five hit Xenia, Ohio. It was devastating. But we weren't deluged with the statistics and the aftermath 24 hours 7 days a week, 365 days a year, 365 and a quarter or whatever it is, because you only had three channels. And if you weren't in front of one of those three channels between 6 and 7 p.m., you had to depend on the newspaper, and the newspapers would come in the morning and at the night, so you didn't have that much time to dwell on that kind of stuff unless you were involved in it. But yeah, weather phenomenon is another reason to stack. Now, if everything gets wiped out at your location, your home, your property, that can be devastating on some preps too. And I've realized that not the hard way, but just out of using my imagination and using other people's imaginations. People kind of write, you might what other people might consider doomsday type fictional novels, whether they're EMP based or nuclear war based or civil unrest. Um, but yeah, it doesn't help you. So, what's you guys know this term? Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Yeah, and that basket could include your residence. So, and it's a lot. I think it's a lot easier to disperse um, prepping goods, supplies in a clandestine manner on the mainland than it is here because the space is so limited here. I'm fortunate that I have relatives that live in different locations and, you know, I do gardening for them. I'm good at gardening and landscaping and decorating gardens and stuff like that. Just a hobby. But yeah, yeah, I'm natural phenomenon. That's just it's horrible. And there's really no explaining it other than that's a part of existing on Earth. I'm sure there's a biblical verse that might, if not explain it, uh, soothe the pain that's caused by it after the fact. Nothing's going to really help during the fact, except maybe quite possibly prayer. Uh, So yeah, I don't think anyone's gonna. I get back to the chat. Get to know him through his channel. Most people are more likely to meet you if they build up some type of a relationship first. Fish is awesome. I don't know whose Fish is, um, but quite possibly sounds like if I'm lucky enough, I'll be able to run into him and either form my own opinion or not. Uh, Thanks, Liberty Blade Silver. I'll try to meet with Fish again. Well, that's cool. Let's see. Liberty Silver, Bleed Silver. Hey, I gotta thank you guys for carrying the load in chat and on this live. We're at 57 minutes and 30 seconds. Wow. I know you folks have way more important things to do. I still haven't figured. Oh, four is. You think there's four people in here? I just discovered those numbers. There are the same colors. Oh, there. Now I can see them easier. Um, so anyway, thank you for your participation in the chat. So back to the chat. Liberty Bleeds Silver says, blue collar stacker came out here to Vegas and we all had breakfast one morning and went to a coin shop. I think I saw that video. It might have been you and Vegas Stacker and Blue Collar, who I think is AKA Average Joe. He's got some pretty cool concepts and ideas that he puts out. And since you're here, Liberty, keep playing that guitar. That is cool, uh, and it really it's a nice break in the action of all the other interferences that happen in life. So yeah, that's cool. Whoops, I touched something wrong. Um, I have it. I wrote it down. I'm going to start figuring out how to get a super cheap guitar. My first guitar was going to go to one of my employees' yard sales, but he accidentally, on purpose or something or other, in the pro shop mentioned that I don't know if he brought it. No, I don't think he brought the guitar. Said mentioned he's going to had a guitar, and I didn't know what kind. I didn't care. I didn't know how to play guitar at that time, but I wanted to learn. I learned about tablature, and I was excited to figure out if I could figure it out. And it turned out it was an American-made Fender acoustical guitar, classical. It had, and I didn't realize the benefit of. Um, I think let me see what's it. Eric and Dwayne got the blues early, so there was some plastic strings involved. There was some metal ones, so it might have been the low E strings were nylon, maybe, versus the steel or metal. So yeah, because wow, talk about finger pain, and then oh my gosh, bar chords. Oh man, that was just so painful. But you know what I discovered about learning the guitar was, and then continuing to play the guitar, is really good for my golf game because you know uh, the fretting hand, I'm right-handed, and so my left hand was getting a great workout, and I'm a right-handed golfer, and the lead hand, the left hand and grip is super important. It definitely improved my golf game. Let me see. So, okay, went to Vegas. Yeah, I think I saw that video. Liberty says that was about 2 months ago. He actually landed again in Vegas with his wife, Mrs. Joe, I think, Mrs. Average, and we're going to meet tomorrow at another coin shop and then probably watch the Tropicana Hotel implosion together. Well, that's pretty heartwarming and cool, and I'm not jealous, but stay tuned. I'll get some footage. That'll be great. Uh, I think sometimes he does, and I think he might have done it back then, where you offer the food server a tip choice, either in like a $10 bill or a piece of silver that's worth more than double that. Those are cool. Uh, and Silver Stallion says, that's awesome, Liberty. Like I said, I'm always down and willing to meet with anyone in the community. Well, come on out to Hawaii, folks. And speaking of that, there is a fellow stacker out here. He actually sent me a mail call, a gift of a really cool Hawaiian token, Emperor Wang. So it's possible, and I did casually mention, because I respect people's privacy and anonymity, uh, I did casually mention, and he replied about Honolulu Coin Show, which is in November, which I was thinking, wow, that's kind of far off when I first learned about it, about 3 months ago when I first started getting into this channel stuff. And that's next month already. So I don't know if it's at the beginning of the month, but he sounded pretty excited about it. And so it's quite possible we could, maybe have a meetup there. I think that would be cool. Seems like a really nice, smart um, human male, and yeah, that'd be neat. And I'm sure he'd be able to, especially at the coin show environment. I'm sure he would, almost like have another encyclopedia besides this crazy phone. I wish I could turn the volume up. Is my volume still junk? Oh, there we go. I don't know if that volume has anything to do with this volume. I just turned up the volume thingy as if I was listening to Pandora. I do like Pandora. I don't like apps, but that's one of the very, very few apps I have. Yes, that was a dig at you, Sleuth. Oh, well, I am outside, and this is kind of my whisper, a loud whisper. Yes, the neighbors, very good. I don't think, but I don't know. Maybe, and I have thought about experimenting by setting up a place elsewhere where I could speak louder. I've got like a shed, and I call it a man hut, but right now it's just full of stuff. A lot of it's building supplies, 2 by 4 by 8s and stringers and stuff like that. Um, I try to buy that stuff when it's cheap. But I did notice lumber has gone down a lot than it was 3 months ago. Um, so yeah, 4 by 4 by 10s and things like that. But I know the neighbors. That's right. You know my neighbors. Dang, they. I bet you they're good cooks because man, some of the food there they cook is just wow. Smells delicious. Pirate likes Stein, and Pirate is very close with Gish. There's another new name, Fish. Still a new name to me. Like it up. Like it up. Oh, that's lick it up. Okay. Oh, we talking about milk spots again? No, you don't have to thank me, Sleuth. I love to talk. Well, that's good. Talking got me into trouble a lot when I was a Ute. Besides my smart ass mouth, I should say, there was many times And it paid off in the long run that I would have to write, I will not talk in class 1,000 times or something like that. And we were poor and I hate waste. I've always hated waste. So I could manage to write so small that officially, and one time it was confirmed by the principal that no, you didn't tell him it had to be X amount of size. The principal was a friend of my dad's and my uncle's, so Mr. Duvall, he was on my side. But yeah, so I can write super small. I can write smaller than I can see just from doing it for so long. And yeah, I used to put little secret messages inside my writing pens, because when somebody say, hey, somebody's got a pen, I say, hey, that's a nice pen. Where'd you get it? And then, that's mine, isn't it? No, no, no. Usually it was, someone on my staff. And I'd say, oh, let me take a look at it. And I'd pull it apart. I mostly like the cheap Bics. I'd pull it apart and pull out a little piece of paper with a little itsy bitty writing on it with my name. I said, well, how'd that get in there? I don't know. Well, thank you anyway. Even though you say I don't have to thank you, that's good. Whoops. But yeah, I used to get in trouble for talking too much, talking back. You're not very good at what? You're good at. I like your guitar. I like your. I like you did put a little spin on. What was the last song you played? It wasn't Eric Carmen, although I think you should do All by Myself in a super grungy, like Kurt Cobain meets Joe Cocker uh, style. Yeah, Average Jane. There you go. Yes, classical guitars have nylon strings. Used to be catgut. Don't say that. My mom was born in Springfield, Ohio, and so was my oldest brother. So catgut's a bad subject, but and they had very flat fretboards. Yes, I noticed that when I decided I was going to try to get better at the guitar. And at that time, I was thinking, wow, maybe a little different guitar might make it easier. Uh, and I actually felt like there was a difference between the ease of playing, um, say, a Les Paul versus a Gibson, not an Epiphone, although I probably would have tried that eventually. But I went after the Stratocaster Stradivarius emotional, Trower played a Strat, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Clapton, and I know they varied. And at the time, I think at the time there was a guitarist named Joe Bonamassa, and he was, I think, strictly Fender at the time. But then he had a feud with them, and now he has his own custom guitars made by somebody. But Emperor Wang plays guitar as well. Oh my gosh, that's cool. There's quite a few. Have you heard Salivate Metal? He can play guitar. Get inside a closet and hang a blanket over the door. Yeah, I don't perform well in 95-degree heat with no air. But I got me a fancy microphone, and I'm even betting in my crick in my neck. I'm probably gonna pull something. Um, but it just doesn't seem to work too much. I think it's write your name on a grain of ice. I haven't seen that, but I feel like even now, with a 10-year-old eyeglass prescription, although the the bifocal part of the trifocals still works pretty good. I think I could do that. A short name. If my name was Veronica, maybe not. But Angus is pretty easy, and it's mostly all straight lines, especially if you do it kind of in a style of the Greek, like a Greek S. There's no real curves in it. Uh, G, same thing. So yeah, I think I could still do that. Have you ever seen something? Yes, I have. Uh, Silver Stallion responds, Liberty bleeds silver. You gave me an idea for a video. Yay! I'm going to try to get all the Florida stackers together. Mind if I shout you out in the video? I think that's a tremendous idea. Um, yeah, I like Florida, so I've played a few golf courses down there. But one real nice one, I think, it's at Innisbrook. But I played a private club on Bruce B. Downs. Avenue or Boulevard. I think that was in the Tampa or St. Pete area. Innisbrook was Tarpon Springs. Some good stuff. Joe Cocker had a strand of his voice, that's for darn sure. Yeah, you know, first of all, I was not a huge fan of his singing voice or really his songs. And I think one of his biggest hits was actually a Beatles song, and that probably made me not like him even less, if that would have been possible. Uh, I was a huge Beatles fan. Matter of fact, when I started playing guitar, my beginning goal, was to learn how to play Racky Raccoon under a tree, sitting by my wife with the dog nearby on a nice, beautiful day. And I didn't imagine whether I was in Ohio at the time, so it was probably would have been in the early fall or the late spring. So Liberty Lee Silver says, no, Stein, I wouldn't mind one bit. Thanks for including me, man. This will be epic. Just let me know where and when, brother. Let's go, at Stallion, with sunglasses on. I think I did a pretty decent job of following the chat and not monopolizing all the time. It would be pretty cool if everybody could talk, almost like if we were in person, but I could see how that could be problematic because of all the interference. And I don't know how this internet, these waves or whatever bytes of stuff, I don't know how any of that works. I think I could figure it out if I tried, but I don't care. Um, so yeah, you wouldn't mind one bet. Thanks, brother. Let's go. I'll be waiting for that grand prize video with your name. Let me write that down. Dang it. Gleaves. What was the other idea you gave me? Oh, yeah, I know. Starting a stacking channel as an old person. What was this one? Okay. Right name on rice grain. Wow, that kind of rhymes. You want me to write a song too? Right name on rice grain. Got plenty of rice around here, although I've had one golf ball size portion of sticky rice, Thai rice, in 79 days or something like that. Let's see, no, since July 7th. So what is that? July, August, September. So either maybe 4 months. No, it hasn't been 120 days. So probably 90 days. Today's October 7th. Let me see. So I did great. Thank you. Ooh, got the little shaka too. I don't shaka too much here. Just depending on the situation. I do deal with the public 3 days a week, uh, but it's always outside. I work outside. What do you call it? As I'm doing right now? I YouTube channel stuff outside. I fall asleep outside a lot of times. There's just no space. I feel like I live in a thrift shop, but that's just a whole nother video. I went from a 3,600 square foot two-story house on I don't know what's a quarter plus a third. So it was a quarter. I don't know. It's almost an acre of land with neighbors not within literally spit and bit distance, depending on the wind, and to basically a 12 by 15 dorm room. The same bedroom my wife and her 12-year younger sister, who was about 7 at the time when I met her, uh, both slept in when I met my wife. And this month makes 45 years that we've been together, towards the end of the month. She's got it written down somewhere. Uh, I would definitely mention whatever news you would like my subscribers to know for your Florida Stacker party at Stein. Yeah, that would be cool. That would be, and that might even start a trend, or yeah, trend. I think trend is a good word, or heaven forbid, a what do you call it when tradition? Yeah, That's neat. Somewhere in the Black Hills, South Dakota, live a young boy named Rocky Raccoon. One day he was wandering off with another guy, hit young Rocky. Nah, Rocky didn't like that, so I'm going to get that boy. Um, I should have checked the speech to text. Those aren't correct lyrics, but pretty close. Damn Al? I don't know who is Al, but pretty close. Very, very close. I felt like I knew and still know a lot of Beatles songs by heart, but I'm pretty sure I've butchered up some words along the way, as with other songs, especially songs that you don't listen to over and over and over and over and over again because you're trying to remember the lyrics so that, when you're without an AM radio or nowadays a phone that, can be any kind of stereo you want it to be, you can sing to yourself and not embarrass yourself to yourself because you got the lyrics all messed up. But no, I think you got it pretty good. If you get it down, you better write it small. Write it down. If I write it down, I still write pretty small. I've had people grump, wow, they just, well, I don't know, it either throws them off or something, especially in a like a business environment. And I always liked it. I said, and it's, wow, you write too small. I said, well, I can write smaller. Oh yeah. And I can, especially with a fine point bic. I like medium points because it just feels nicer when you're writing. I don't write as much as I used to. I do have, oh my goodness, maybe over 150,000 words, um, in the anticipation of someday putting it all together in a form of a novel, you know, and quite possibly have to break it up into at least two different volumes and then maybe add to it. But and of course it is a uh, SHTF themed doomsday end of the world as we know it, but with a happy ending story, uh, or a happy ending that is a cliffhanger uh, for the opportunity to write another one. Living outdoors is my thing too. I don't like to be in the house. Oh my gosh. And this is a rough time of the year for me. Not so much September, although squirrel season would always, I think, traditionally be September 1st in Ohio. And if it weren't for squirrel meat, I don't know if I'd have lived past 13 years old. Uh, had a very uncrowded refrigerator growing up. Oh, thank you. 45 years. Yes. In a row. That's continuous, bro. So that, yeah, definitely deserves an exclamation mark. Um, but and I only, oh, what's your secret? I've had people ask me, oh wow, what's your secret? I said, well, you have to learn how to be not selfish and don't yell in the house, inside the house, unless there's an emergency. And those are pretty much the words that I've lived by for 45 years. And when you're chasing, when I was chasing the dollar and chasing a couple different careers, um, and then when I had just life's circumstances and perfect storm of events in 2001, I left the golf business and became a full-time 24/7 caregiver to my dad because I had to make, it was at that point in his life, I had to make the decision to bring somebody in to help. And I didn't even consider sending him off, to some place where the, old folks home or whatever it's called. So that was a choice. And I was ready for the change. I used to work I was my last position. I was head professional at a golf course called Raccoon International Golf Club, and it was a public. It sounds fancy, but it was a public tract owned by a guy that had a lot of money, inherited money, and then turned it into more money, but had a lot of different fires with irons in all over, and they just got to the point. I think I've been there about 5 years or so. They just, the money to purchase equipment that was needed in order to keep the numbers where I told them I could get them to, and but to maintain them at those numbers, I needed the proper equipment, and they weren't providing that. And people said, "Well, what'd you leave Raccoon for?" And I mean, there was a myriad of reasons. Besides, I was burnt out on the business. Was I ran out of duct tape and twine. I couldn't fix anything anymore, and that was pretty close to the truth. But yeah, living outdoors is good. So I used to be in the woods. Wow. And when my dad was still living, I'd have to, kind of arrange his times of being awake and sleeping to where it would make it possible for me to leave the house, at 5 o'clock in the morning, and then get back 4 or 5 hours later, check on him, sit, then get him through the beginning part of his day, and that including breakfast and eventually lunch and exercises and nutritional programs, and trying to keep his brain active with his mechanical engineering aptitude. Had all these projects set all over his space, and then, oh, time for a nap. And I know, after a while, you can figure out, well, he's going to be out for at least 3, 4 hours. And then I head back out to whether it's a deer stand or a cup of squat in the woods with a 22 Ruger, or in a duck blind, or looking for arrowheads, or all different kinds of stuff, outdoor activities, ginseng. Now, they were very strict about that. That had its own seasons too. Mushroom hunting in the spring, all different kinds of activities. I arranged his sleep patterns around my activities. Kind of sounds selfish. What's going on? Stack that gold. Boy, do you too. That's since I got Liberty Blues and Stack That Gold and others at the same time. I tell you, I'm really impressed and entertained by your fancy introductions, your graphics, special effects, poker chips, stickers, and all that kind of stuff. That is neat how you've taken this pretty simple hobby of coin collecting. And then what's the difference between collecting and stacking? I mean, to me, there's not much difference, uh, but because it's all involves storing it somewhere, or stashing it, or displaying it. But anyway, your guys' channels are really good, really good. It's not so. Yeah, I felt like I felt I didn't feel obligated. I didn't. I actually had no thought. It was just probably a pure coincidence and great timing that I was ready for it. And then that 9/11 stuff happened, and I realized just life is too short to stick with something that makes you miserable. And by that time, I was miserable. And I only had to do it, 8 months out of the year. Uh, but you have to take care of yourself, or you can't take care of others. I have actually been pretty good at taking care of myself, except for, oh, belligerent youth activities. Uh, I'm not, I guess I was a risk taker if I was drinking alcohol, but I kind of lived my life around low risk. Um, I'm one of those, it used to be I couldn't wait to get wherever I was going, no matter how many tickets I got. And now I'm one of those guys that you hate to get behind because I do, 5% over the speed limit, uh, unless traffic warrants me keeping up with everybody else that are breaking the law. Um, Stack that gold. Yeah. BBA. Blistering Barnacles Adventures. Wow. People just keep jumping in here. That's neat. I guess it doesn't matter how long these things go, right? It's not like a video. Uh, and there's this thing called, someone mentioned to me, I think it might have been today. either today or yesterday. Hey, congrats on almost 200 subscribers. That surprised the dickens out of me. And so I clicked enough to where, yeah, and it's actually on one extra click, and I found, oh, 199 subscribers. And then there's an app called YouTube Studio. I don't like apps, but that's got something called analytics, and oh my gosh, it almost gave me a headache trying to look at all that stuff. But yeah, neat stuff. Uh, but anyhow, yeah, I think it's extremely generous of you folks devoting any time towards getting on. First of all, the effort to click, oh, that Silver Sleuth guy's got a live thing, and you click on it. I click on as much lives as I can. Sometimes I'll get on and say, hey, I'm at work. I can't I feel like I want to say I can't contribute much, blah, 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 but that's too much. So I'm at work. I think people understand that. Wanted to tickle your algorithm and hit your like button. And I do that because I've been trained by all of the YouTube channels to say, don't forget to do this and that. I used to talk about that at I just got tired of it. I, I could hardly get it out. I couldn't remember what all the requirements were supposed to do. So it's easier for me just to remember to thank people for tuning in and thank people for sticking around. And that's just so much easier for me. But I tell you, some of this high tech is just downright elderly abuse. You have to take care of yourself. Yep, I agree. Can't take care of others. Hi, everyone. Blister and Barnacle Adventures. That's a cool name. Uh, I would think you and the pirate guys would get along really good because when I hear barnacle, I think of either pirates or sea turtles. You can see what cities people are watching from. What? I can't even tell you how many people are watching right now. Oh, wait a minute. Looks like maybe two, and I've had 15 thumbs up. That's pretty encouraging. You can see what cities people are watching from. It's quite amazing how much information there is. You can also do editing and a bunch of other stuff that I've barely even touched on. Yeah, me too. Um, and I think the efforts that I have made to do that with this one app that I have, I forget what it's called. It's not a YouTube app, but it works with YouTube. But I think that has some volume issues as well. That's where I learned how to uh, insert the 3 hours later, little blue and white. I guess it's associated with somebody named SpongeBob. But yeah, it's just, it's just way too much work for me. And now today is a kind of a unique day. I've been granted the day off from certain obligations, and I'm just going to take advantage of it. And although I still have some of my own personal to-do list bullet points to check off. And the first one, I love it. Every day I make a to-do list, and the first thing on my to-do list is start my to-do list, and I can check it off immediately after I write that down. It just gets my day going. Um, Blister and Barnacle's Adventure says, "Oh, uh, I'm a new sub. It's getting late here in the UK, and I'll definitely be following you." So the UK, that's United Kingdom. That is really far from where I am, dude. I'm in Hawaii. I cannot. You see something in 6, maybe 10 to 12 hours difference. So if it's, I don't even know what time it is right now. What time is it? Noonish here? Yeah, it's 12:51. So it might be, oh, 00:51. It might be a little after midnight where you're out. Yeah. I'm getting tired just thinking about staying up that late. I'm usually asleep by 19:30 every night, at 7:30 p.m. Hawaii Standard Time. So you can see what cities are. I haven't touched them either. I read the other day you can take copyrighted music out of your videos, and you can also blur faces and license plate frames with software on the YouTube Studio. Well, that's cool. I uh, I don't I don't really film anything away from. I guess we officially call this my studio. Uh, in the family, we call it Ikaika's chair. He was the bull terrier before Forrest, and but sometimes he gets up there, and Pumpkin, the feral orange cat with no tail, sometimes he gets up on my air quote studio. But Blister and Barnacle's Adventures in the United Kingdom, man, I'm super impressed that you would join my live at such a late hour. OC Stacker, they're Florida, so that's 6 hours. So you guys are ready to fall back. What a silly concept. I've never been a fan of that, and I think that started back when I was in school, and it was supposedly so kids wouldn't have to wait at the bus stop in the dark or something. I never did figure that out. But we don't change the clocks here in Hawaii. Just uh, and usually if I'm dealing with people on the East Coast, I just use 5 hours difference. That way they don't have to worry about forward and falling forward and moving back or any of that time, daylight savings time stuff. But now more and more people. It's great. I'm really stoked. But yeah, so silver and gold, old gold, little gold, fractional gold, credit card type gold. Those are cool. I tell you, I, I'm really anticipating ever using any of this stuff in any financial transaction. But if I were to have the opportunity to go into a store that might have something that I want to purchase, uh, or a tent, and I said, oh, and the menu or the prices are listed in, uh, you know, ounces or grams of either silver or gold or 20th ounces of where'd you go? Platinum. That's my only platinum. That would be cool. I mean, that would be cool. Somebody, I forget who did it. It might have been Yankee or some North Carolina stacker or something. But they went to it's almost like a festival or a fair, and everybody was accepting um, silver as payment for their products, whatever those products were. Crafts. Kind of, I would call it like a, a craft fair with cottage food industry, homemade foods and honeys and sauces and salsas and sandwiches and all kinds of stuff. That would be cool. That wouldn't hurt my feelings if someday I can use something like this in some kind of transaction that didn't involve multiplying it times 1.0472 or whatever the tax rate is, wherever that might happen. But, since there's not, hey, OC, good to see you again. Blister Barnacles is a cool dude. Yeah, I tell you, there's really, everybody here is pretty cool, I think. Especially, maybe it's easy, maybe I'm easier to put up with, where you can just turn me off, with just a touch of a phone. But in real life, this would really surprise me. Except I used to do open mic, and so for 3 minutes, they weren't forced to put up with me, but I would talk so fast and trying to make them laugh and I was too distracted to notice if anybody got up and walked out, which I'm sure they did, and I know they did. Uh, and sometimes I'd get heckled, but it was good. It was therapeutic, just like this is good and therapeutic. Although when I used to do open mic, I was, when I was drinking, I'd get free booze. That was cool. People buy me drinks. That was cool. Then they'd help me find a ride home or a ride somewhere where I wouldn't get arrested because I probably shouldn't have been driving and stuff like that. So yeah, that's cool. So yeah, so to recap what we talk about, we talked about honest money. I did ask if being an ethicist is naive, to hope someday that will return to honest money. Gold and silver, they've written about it in the Bible, they've written about it in the Constitution. It's been written about for what, at least how old's the United States? Almost 250 years old. So I covered that. Fractional gold, I covered that. I'm I know people. I would think most people would free, but I understand not wanting to pay a premium, and premium is a new concept to me. And but I don't, I really don't want to know all that stuff. I want, what's the bottom line? And then right after I get that answer, I say, is that with or without tax? I was surprised at my second purchase, but my first actual taking physical delivery was I went to a pawn shop, just scouting. I never would have dreamt, but they had a quarter ounce eagle. Uh, they didn't take any kind of silver in at all. They had a bunch of gold jewelry, had a few gold coins. One of them was a quarter ounce. Uh, Asked him how much. He told me. And then before I could even say my magic question, he said, and there's no tax because it was considered secondhand goods. I tell you, Hawaii got some messed up laws. But in Ohio, I have actually gone through two, well, I guess it'd be three different eras. There was a while, good long while, especially when I first started buying from coin shops where there was no tax added. Ohio did not add a tax. And then all of a sudden, oh, they passed something and got to collect tax. Well, apparently people grumbled enough to where, oh, no, they repealed that or something. So that was good news. But did it prevent me from buying something when I showed up with money I had intended? I called it casino money. And that's the way I've looked at buying everything that I've purchased. You know, I treat it like casino money. I go to a casino, I take $200 or whatever $100 with me, and I plan on losing it. And if I don't, I win. Or if I only lose a portion of it, I kind of half win. Uh, but I didn't gamble. I know casinos gambling, but I didn't play craps or roulette, especially roulette. I did not do slot machines religiously. I did a slot machine experiment uh, with some Sacagawea dollars. That was kind of fun, um, but I didn't get carried away with it. But poker, and by the time I was able to or old enough to attend go to a casino as an adult, Hold'em was the game to play. Now they'd have Omaha games every once in a while, and there was always that, and it seemed like the PLO table was, I think it was pot limit. Anyhow, always seemed to be a waiting list for it, a bunch of old timers. And when I say old timers, people my age, but looking and acting way older and probably more mature than I act. But Hold'em was good. The math for me is much easier. Pot odds. I simplify it. I don't need it to be, you know, if it's a 22% chance of something, I'll look at it as 20. I'll round up or round down. I learned it's called the rule of 4 and 2 after the turn. You learn your pot odds and a little bit of math, but not too much. And a lot of people take a lot of time in between, when they're making a decision. And I don't know what's going on through their head. I know they're either trying to not have a tell or have a tell that they're doing on purpose to make who knows what's going on in their brain. I watch poker videos too. A couple of them on there I like Brad Owen. I like him. He has a really good commentary. But no, was doing math, uh, and I played premium starting hands, position, uh, pot odds, and every once in a while I'd play on a feeling, and that probably is like 50-50 winning losing on get a feeling. But if the feeling was backed up by math, it wasn't a feeling. It was just a math decision. And if I win, I win. If I lose, I lose. That's the math. I know I have a chance. There's always a chance of losing, almost until they're drawing dead. But good fun. That's why I'm attracted to your guys' poker chips. It makes me, it's a little melancholy. I used to love how like we like the feel of holding silver and gold in our hands. I used to love the the feeling of a good quality casino. I think they're clay, made out of clay chips. Um, Pretty neat stuff. The more the merrier, that kind. I like the chip racks, the little half racks where you can lay your chips in, maybe 25 at a time. That's fun, especially if you need more than one when you're leaving the table. That's really fun. But yeah, I like those pokers and some of these poker chips that you guys come up with, and you're on your third or fourth edition, and man, it's very elaborate. I'm going to get me a poker chip, but probably not going to be nearly as nice as your folks is because I'm a tightwad and I'm going to seek out the cheapest reasonable facsimile of a poker chip and be the kind that if I were to send to somebody, they would expect to get a poker chip of such poor quality, knowing, you know, the little bit that they know about me and my frugal portrayal, which is true. I hate spending money. Hate it. If it weren't for food, I'd be filthy rich. Uh, but I can't stop eating. It's a birth defect. But yeah, so back to the review. I did the fractional gold. I talked about my naivete, hoping for an honest money system. I get that from Dr. Ron Paul. Man, I forget the name of the book. It's like the prosperity of gold, and the Fed. And then he's probably most famous for a book he wrote way later, I think in the 21st century, maybe early 2000s, called End the Fed. That might have been late 90s. But he'd already had me convinced before that book. Um, and where do I get all my other polluted ideas from? There was wow, I think it was written in the 40s because I read that pretty early. Um, I grew up during and people talk about, oh, SHTF, and when I was growing up, there was the Cold War. The there was a real threat, mm, either real or made to seem real threat by the powers that be of a nuclear war. I mean, they had bomb shelters, fallout shelters when they built a new school in 1959 or 1962. They included an underground fallout shutter, and there'd be signs out near the street. And if you were in a small town like that, even our old 1900 built, 1898 built brick schoolhouse had been renovated when they added on a little bit to the elementary school side, incorporated a fallout shutter into that, which I'm sure is still in existence. It might be filled with folding chairs and old chairs out of the old auditorium, the kind that used to have the metal tag on the back with whatever seat number you in. They were wooden, they were uncomfortable, they went up and down like a baseball seat. Those kind of, I bet you it's just filled with crap. Or not. Maybe someone got smart and said, hey, because probably I don't know when prepping got mainstream, probably with cable. There was some prepper TV shows. There was there was, hardcore prepper. I forget what it was, but people had already started to grasp the concept of building their own bunker, their own hidey hole, uh, and so yeah, it's possible. Maybe somebody went in there, had the idea, hey, let's clean that up for the town. I'm talking about a town with less than 1,000 people, and probably half of that would have easier access to it. And I doubt if the capacity in that thing, because I've never been in there, I doubt if the capacity was very high. And of course, there's only going to be a certain percentage of. But so I grew up under the threat of nuclear war. Uh, and then when I was a teenager, I felt like there was a threat of anybody over 30, at the age of 30. So I think the SHTF concept can take all different kinds of forms. Uh, however they manifest in each individual's brain, because we all go through personal stuff hitting the fan. It could be a broken bone, and at the time it really feels like the end of the world. I remember my first kidney stone. I felt like I was dying. Um, you know, I I had a heart attack on July 7th, and then I had acute renal. I think it was from the side effects from the dope that they give me from my heart attack, high blood pressure, cholesterol, and stuff. I don't take any of that stuff no more. I'm altering my diet. I have altered my diet, concentrating on glucose and fructose and carbohydrates versus fiber and sugar versus fiber ratios and all that long-haired nonsense. But seems to be helping a little bit. But the when they had to call the squad for me after 3 days after getting out of the hospital from my heart attack and surgery, so that was July 13th ish. Um, that I'd call that shit hitting the fan. It was, but survived. And I think if there were an occurrence, and I don't even like saying SHTF. First of all, I like saying the SHIT word. I don't have a problem with that. GD and JC, I don't think you'll ever hear me or will ever hear me use those. But the F word and the S word, I don't have a problem with that. And I don't think anybody that's above me, way above me, has an issue with that. I guess depending on the contents or the context in which it's said. But yeah, I think we all experience it. And so, one of the subjects that I might have covered on this live if I thought I had enough time. Well, it turns out I had about an hour and 46 minutes worth of time to go over it, but it's a touchy subject. Um, SHTF and or using, I'm just going to paraphrase it, scare tactics or talking about the worst case scenarios in order to get the point across to people. Hey, you need to go out and get some gold and still silver instead of what I prefer to concentrate on is some. They're all possibilities. Don't get me wrong, but the probabilities are low for a lot of them. But to me, it makes perfect sense to keep stuff out of the financial system that where they keep records on you. Um, Now, it doesn't coincide. It doesn't go along great with my pessimistic outlook on how much longer we got to collect gold and silver. But I've had that same I've had that same attitude for the last almost 25 plus years, and ain't nothing happened yet. No crazy financial collapse. Yes, inflation. Yes, more selections. Now you got the introduction of the internet. So accumulating or finding what you're if you're after the very best deal, I think it's a lot easier in 2024. Even though I wasn't concerned with that. I was probably just kind of gullible or naive and just, I felt like, a coin shop, you got to keep the lights on. And for some reason, I got in my head that they'll buy stuff for 5 or 10% behind melt. And then if they sell it, they're selling it for 5 to 10% over it. And yeah, maybe there was I don't recall the term premium, but yeah, I knew that at 10 of these one tenthers would uh, cost more than one of these. But you know why I thought that? Where I got this idea? Because, oh, it costs more money to make these. Had to retool the machines or something like that. I don't know who told me that, but it stuck. It made sense to me. Or it was a good enough explanation to where I didn't dwell on somebody making an extra $10 on this purchase or an extra $100 on 10 of these purchases as opposed to a one-time purchase. And the last time I bought anything in Ohio was right before I left. Probably less than a week before I left forever. And so I've been giving away a lot of stuff, a lot of survival stuff, because stuff that I couldn't or decided not to sell at my yard sales and auction. Like I had a couple Berkey water filters. I had a bunch of Sawyer water filters, life straws. I did send a couple life straws here. Um, but just all, rice, my fancy food grade buckets with the gamma lids, and oh my gosh, but I had people that I had reconnected with since high school, or even before that, grade school, within the 2 to 3 mile radius around my home, and I was concerned for them. I was, I felt like I was in the position to practice what I preach, even though I wasn't preaching it to anybody other than myself. And you don't have to talk the local coin shop guy into the advantages of gold and silver, but even from a collector's standpoint, not let alone a business standpoint. But so I didn't talk him into it, but maybe I did. Uh, and I even, I covered how to hide it, how to do this, what's going to be the best, easiest route for you. And so when we went to the coin shop, I took two friends, and they were ready to buy gold, and I had already prepped them for what I thought it was going to cost. And I even told them, say, there's really no negotiating or anything like that. Uh, Figure how much money you can lose. And I put it that way because this is something you want to buy and put away, and until you're old, or until something gets in the way, if something gets in the way. So they each bought one of these plus some silver, and they paid this very same price per ounce for this that I did for a half tube of these. So I got 10 of these for the same price that they paid for an ounce. Um, and it was a lot more than I wanted to spend, but I had purposely highballed my estimates on bringing my house out of the 1970s into the 21st century to either sell and or rent or sell, still renting. Um, and That same philosophy is what I'm adopting now. But I'm just interested in what's the out the door price? How much do I have in my pocket? I've already figured out for October how much I not can spend, but how much do I want to spend to lose, never see again. So that's all based on, it's an ever changing climate of financial budgeting requirements and stresses. So, okay, let's go back to the chat because I see the word Hawaii. Let me see. So, you take copyrighted. Yeah, I copyrighted music. I don't know any of that stuff is, but I do know enough that you can't play a CD while you're recording because of some copyright, some other thing. But strangely enough, you can, on a short, you can go up and touch add sound and add all kinds of bands on there. Oh, a whole 16 seconds worth in my case. Uh, I'm a new sub. It's getting later. Oh, you're still in the UK. Good for you. Um, don't forget to like, comment, share. Oh, most of all, stay shiny. Yep, in that bus and barnacle. Cool dude. There we go. Oh, so we're back down. OC Stacker at Silver Sleuth. At Craig Shelby, 1968, that is also in Hawaii. He's on the Big Island. No, I don't, OC. I'm on Oahu. There's a YouTuber channel member named Emperor Wang. He is also on Oahu. It doesn't surprise me that at least one person on the Big Island is into stacking. Um, Big Island, even though it's, I don't know, maybe 4 times bigger than this island, maybe even more, got like 5 times less humans on it. My father-in-law was born and raised in the same house that his father was born and raised in, and the father before that on the Big Island on the Kona side. We got Auntie Gwen lives Hilo, which is on the other side, closer to the volcanoes that you see on the news. And I kind of remember within the last couple of weeks, Kilauea, which is the most active volcano on the Big Island, it has been rumbling and doing a little bit of spewing. But it's not like the volcanoes on television or Vesuvius types where they just erupt and just all kinds of lava comes out and then goes down. And wipes out villages and homes and everything like that. Although occasionally, people got to get out of the way, or they'll wait until, not till it's too late, but they'll wait and somehow the lava flow just misses their house that is usually built on like a stilts. It's pretty interesting. That's where the probably the cheapest land to buy is on the site of the volcanoes. But I love the Big Island. I played in a golf tournament there and ended up spending the night with Grandma on the Kona side, Kealakekua, and it can get a little chilly, especially for the locals on the Big Island. The Big Island is where you can snow ski up either Mauna Kea, Mauna Loa, and then drive an hour down to the beach and surf all in the same day if you want to. That's kind of interesting. We got a plenty mountains here, a couple different, couple main mountain ranges here. We got the Ko'olau and the Waianae Mountain Range, and there's probably some others, smaller ones. Diamond Head, probably one of the most well-known landmarks in Hawaii, happens to be on Oahu, is an extinct volcano crater. And there's the number one, it used to be the number one tourist attraction here is actually a United States cemetery. I think I'd call it a military cemetery. It's called Punch Bowl Cemetery. And it's actually located within the extinct volcano's crater. It's pretty gnarly. Pretty sure you have to have some kind of military connection to be buried in there. But no, I don't know, and I don't recognize the name Craig Shelby if that's his real name. But I'm going to guess and say he was born in 1968. But it's possible he graduated in 1968, which would put him brother's age. So we could probably still get along. But oh, that's interesting. I'm curious as what people do if they live on the outer islands. They come to Oahu for all kinds of reasons, sporting events, even paddling races, surfing. Come here to buy their car because cars are a little bit cheaper here than they are the Big Island. Whoops, I'm still live, it says. Or am I done? Did I run out of time? Well, I'm at 157.10. Well, is there anybody left in here? Let me see. Let me see. Looks like possibly 4 people. Um, I just don't want to hang up on anybody abruptly. But we're broaching the 2 hour mark, folks. Just super stoked that anybody showed up at all. Uh, I will. You guys seen this? I think I have an option on where to publishing it. I'm not sure how crazy I am by putting a 2 hour video out there, but I'll listen to it. Possibly maybe today. It takes a long time to upload stuff. I don't know if it's because I'm over here or what, but that's kind of a pain in the cole. But I appreciate everybody showing up. So maybe I won't even make a video about what a couple of the subjects that I was going to discuss today. But that's when I was thinking I wouldn't have anybody to show up, and I'd do it real fast and not have to look at comments and then publish it like if it was a regular kind plain video, a non-live video. So, well, so OC was the last to say anything. So, OC, if you're still here, thank you very much. I'm just going to go up. Silver Stallion, uh, thank you very much. Liberty Bleeds Silver, always thank you to you. OC, thanks again. Blister and Barnacle's Adventures over in the UK. Thank you very much. Let me see. Liberty Bleeds, thanks again. Stack that gold. Love your channels. All you guys is I'm gonna have to check out Blister and Barnacles. I've been there. I'm pretty sure I have. And I usually make it a habit of always I like I hit the like button before I even watch before I even see what you're doing. Sometimes it's a challenge, especially on those 12-second shorts. So gotta watch it and pause it so I can hit the like button, figure it out what it is, pause it at the very end so I can make a comment, and then watch it again because I was too distracted trying to hit the like button and leave a comment to really appreciate what was being said. Let's stack that gold. Who else can I thank? Liberty Bleeds. Man, you're an excellent participator. Silver Stallion. Ayo, Silver. Away. That's what I think of. I think of, what was that guy's name? The Lone Ranger. Yeah. Yeah, Joe Cocker. Let me see. Liberty Bleeds. Inside a closet. No. Although, yeah. Blue collar. More liberty, liberty, liberty. It's a dig at me. Oh yeah, volume. Sorry, I'm volume challenged. Silver Stallion. Matt T Coins. That's a new name on me, Matt. I don't know if I can subscribe to you right out of here. Channel activity. No, I'm not going to take a chance on that. I'm going to wait till I hang up. And if I haven't subscribed to you already, shame on me. But I'll remedy that. And you don't have to subscribe or anything. Your participation is really, really appreciated. Matt T, Liberty E, Silvery, 210 stacks. Uh, the name looks, I'm old, dude. I'm sorry. I'm going to click on you. And I might have already. I don't know how you got my name, but however you did, thank you, thank you, thank you. Let me see. Nobody's perfect. OC Stacker, Florida OC. I know there's a couple different Orange County, maybe three. There's California, New York, and Florida. I don't know. Oh, wait a minute. It does. Oh, he's Florida, California. Never mind. Uh, but there might be but definitely in New York and in California, Orange counties. Um, you'd think there'd be one in Florida, though, wouldn't you, with oranges? But Cyclops stacks. Nice. Dub C coins and precious metals. Thank you for dropping by. Uh-oh, there's a lizard. We got lizards here. There's, I call them chameleons. Then there's geckos, and then there's this other one can turn its throat. Its threat bellows out, and from the side it looks like a little mini piece of cut watermelon, like a slice of watermelon. They're called anoles. So thank you, Cyclops Stacks, Double X, Silver Silver, Dub C. Thank you, thank you. Silver Stallion, Cyclops, Cracker Stacker. I think. Oh no, I saw a dual steam garbage. I'm gonna have to Google that. Fraction Fiesta, Cracker Stacker. But thank you very much. I'm gonna review all this stuff. Maybe I'll publish it, or but the very least I'll use it to click on you guys and subscribe to your channel, whether you like it or not. 4.9's fine. Thank you. I know you're gone already, probably, but that's cool. Uh, in case I do a review, but I don't see anybody getting this far. Dub C, let me see, Psych. Trent, I'm gonna probably butcher it. Suvejas, greetings. Nice. Weld and carry. I used to love to carry, and I always wanted to learn how to weld. So I can relate to that name. Tyrone Persuade, or could be Persuade. Tyrone's much easier. Hey, thanks for showing up. MR Investor Channel. Did I ask what does MR stand for in these? Forget. Um, maybe I'll find out someday. But thank you. 7 stacks. Thank you. Chew. Ooh, that's it. We're finally at the end. Thank you, all you folks. And I'm gonna guess and say most of you are guys. So thank you, guys. But if there is a female that occasionally thinks I'm being chauvinistic or whatever, it's not on purpose. When collecting fun. Whoa, I get to the very end, just ready to hang up the phone, and I got a new, what do you call it? Attendee. audience member. But I'm gonna go ahead. I guess I'm gonna get back to my non-YouTube um, life, and that was cool. Thanks. Those 2 hours went by. I don't know what I was gonna do because what I thought I had to do in those 2 hours was alleviated from my obligation schedule. I think some people call it honeydew lists. Uh, I don't call it that. Sometimes. Is that? That's illegal. Well, sweet. Bellows Forge, man. Now everybody's showing up. What's up? Thanks. You didn't miss much. Didn't miss much at all. Not really much at all. I just kind of rambled like normal. 2 hours and 5 minutes and 28 seconds worth. Um, Met some new peoples. Learned some new stuff. I think I learned some slang. Some of this new modern slang. What is that? What's that one? Oh, GTSY. Good to see you. But that wasn't this video. I learned that a video or two ago. Wow, that's cool. Well, I don't know the rhyme or reason how these people find these lives. I think I see them when I touch the home, or I'd call it my home page, and then I can scroll, and sometimes there'll be four shorts in a row. I can see four different like still photos uh, on the phone. It takes up the whole phone. Four, and then some of them are precious metal related. Some of them are prepper kind. Uh, some of them are slightly political, uh, and some cooking kind. It's weird, Sometimes my wife and I'll be just talking about something. We'll talk about, I don't know, just anything at random. Fly swatter. I just looked up and saw my flies. First thing that came in my head. I swear, before you know it, I got ads showing up about fly swatters or some newfangled fly swatter that's not even a swatter. It's a zapper, or it's a oh here, take that, or a mosquito repellent. Because fly swatter's multi-dimensional. I use it on cockroaches, ants, flies, mosquitoes. But that's weird. I'm pretty sure my phone listens and takes notes and stuff on me. Thanks for stopping in, Coin Collecting Fun and Bellows Forge. And uh, wow, there's two things that I really enjoy. I do enjoy coin collecting, although not like real coin collectors. And Bellows Forge. I want to learn smelting and pouring, and by doing it, not just by looking at it on a video and thinking, oh, I could do that if I had the right equipment. But because it just looks so satisfying. And I've created stuff before that really just gave me a great sense of, I don't know, accomplishment, pride, especially if somebody were to happen to compliment me up because of it. I used to make quivers, like an arrow storage receptacle that you can sling over your shoulder when you're out bow hunting or just target shooting. They were cool. I used coyote hide. I used to get the tube at the post office for free and put that artificial flower holding green spongy thing in the bottom in case they were using, well, it didn't matter. It would protect the bottom from a field point or a broadhead. Good fun. Possibles bags. Made that out of doe skin, mostly does, deer hide, and Indian beadwork. Good fun. Um, but the forging thing, that just, man, it's just so cool. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's a lot harder and not worth the trouble, and easier just to watch people do it. But and so inside that mini goal or whatever uh, possible activity, I want to make a silhouette of a bull terrier, probably out of silver, very likely out of milk spotty philharmonics and or maples. And you know, that, that'd be neat for me just to have it. Probably would devalue however many ounces that it took to learn how to do that. Uh, but I've seen people that have like a, oh, it looks like a pretty healthy Ziploc baggie full of what looks like BBs, only I'm pretty sure it's refined silver already. And I think they might even call it shot. It kind of looks like uh, buckshot, maybe number six or maybe even bigger, like a triple B, B, B. Uh, not as big as double aught, but yeah, really cool. But I'm pretty most of the opportunities that you folks have, I envy because I don't like buying stuff on the internet. I've put some numbers out there, and I'm right now at a phase where my I only got one. Well, I got two credit cards now. I got a PayPal card, never used it yet, and it's brand new. I did that because it was free, and it's a rewards card, and you know maybe there's a chance I might use it on somebody that accepts PayPal, to mitigate the cost of tax because no matter where I buy it online, I would have to pay Hawaii tax. I don't know how that stuff gets collected. And I'm actually reconsidering selling, not precious metals, but I got other stuff. I got stuff, aloha shirts, stuff that I tell people get it out of your closet and sell it and turn it into a silver bar around or coin or heaven forbid something made out of 22 or 24 karat gold. But I stack aloha shirts or have, only for about 40 years. And they all still look brand new ish. Um, but they're just dusty money. I mean, I haven't worn, last time I wore a aloha shirt was in January at my father in law's funeral. And that's probably, and since I left the business world in about 2000, well, before the shutdowns, it was at 2019, 20-ish. So yeah, I haven't worn since this is 24. So yeah, I don't need 50 or more Aloha shirts. Real nice ones though. I could get by with seven in case I got a 7 day a week gig because I'm gonna go back to work to make money if I'm still alive at in on October 1st of 2026. Because then my income restrictions for my Social Security that I took earlier expand greatly until until October of that year. Then it becomes unlimited. And so I think I would be allowed to, without penalty, make I think probably 60 grand by October. So that's what, how many months is that? 10. So 9 months, 60, 65, and no, it's divided by nine. So it's close to what, 7 grand a month. So I could do that without being penalized. Now I'd be penalized by the tax man, and I'd still be paying back into Social Security, but I won't have any of my benefit be taken out because for the last 2 years, there's been 4 months out of the last 2 years, both years, I've received no Social Security because I made too much money. And I knew that going into it. For 2024, the beginning of the year, I switched it to only 24 hours a week, and that keeps me under the very small limit that I'm allowed to make on top of my Social Security without getting penalized. And I'll find out here Wednesday. I think my check is due Wednesday. I get paid every second Wednesday of the month. When I say paid, I get my Social Security. It's not even a check, it's just a deposit into my electronic checking account thingy. And most of the apps that we use are on my wife's phone. So she got a First Hawaiian app. I hate that stuff. I never even used an ATM in my life until 2017. I was forced to. I didn't have a smartphone until 2017 because I needed it for the job that I'd already lined up that I only only stayed 60 days. It was a 60-day trial period. You like us, we like you, but or don't, one or the other. And I didn't. And the apps must have been 6 or 8 apps that for stuff that I used to do with pen and paper, 20 years earlier. Uh, and it just wasn't for me. Um, but she's got some apps. She watches TV too. That's why I pay for a cable bill. Yeah, they like electricity and stuff around here too. It's one nice thing about Hawaii is don't have to worry about paying for heat. So I could live off the grid here pretty easily, but uh, that's only if I was by myself. And if I was by myself, I would be on the North American continent somehow, some way, as fast as possible. Because whatever's going to go down in the future, I feel much more comfortable on the on North America, preferably in the United States, ideally in the Ohio area, because that's where I still got connections. I've still got some stuff stashed there, just in cases. Nothing that would cause me to have bad dreams because I left it behind and I'll never see it again. And I tend to dwell on the positive. Hey, someday some lucky person with either a metal detector or looking for morels or trying to track a deer is going to come across something that looks kind of funny and they investigate and they make a YouTube video. Hey, look what I found. That would be cool. But wow, 17 cents. Keep forgetting. So there's a little, I call it like a human silhouette. Looks like a upper body with with a round circle for a head with a three next to it. So I'm thinking there might be 3 people in here. I don't know if that includes me. So there's either 2 people plus me or 3 people plus me, and I've had 17 likes. That's cool. Um, yeah, I don't know. I should probably hang up now. Is there anybody here that wants to say anything? Complaints, compliments, song lyrics? Okay, let's see. So last Bellows, thank you. I know I thanked you once before for arriving. Now I'm thanking you for either staying or staying as long as you did. Coin collector, coin collecting fun. Thumbs up times a lot to you, smiley face. Uh, OC, thank you for your contributions to the chat, and Silver Stallion and Liberty Bleeds and Blister and Barnacle Adventures and every all kinds stack that gold. Thank you so much. I'm really impressed. Love your gold coins displayed. Well, thank you. Yeah, um, this was this was following the same strategy that I kind of preach right now, although I did do it on somewhat of an accelerated process a lot more back then than I do now. And it's not so much because of the high prices, because I had a different motivation for getting as much of this stuff as I could as soon as possible. And all this stuff here before about 3 months ago, this was all underground. And I keep taking different still photos so that I can put this back in the ground until yeah, it is the best until 2029, October of 2029. And then I'm going to make a decision or not. I might decide to, maybe I might decide even before then, no, things are just fine and dandy out here. Nothing's really changed. Or I might decide maybe to treat myself or my wife or take advantage of some kind of opportunity that I'm not even dreaming about that might come about. But I appreciate that. Thank you. But to me, it just makes sense. CENTESNSENSE. Um, yeah, I like gold plenty. Now I've already taken a bunch of photos of some stuff, and I'm never really gonna be able to touch it maybe again in my life. I hope that's not what happens. But I prefer that than some catastrophic, cataclysmic SHTF currency reset dollar crash. I don't want that to happen at all. I'd rather wake up in 5 years and, wow, what's it going to be, honey? Uh, Lobster or beef for breakfast? Just get rid of it all, having fun or satisfying, either something that makes her complete or happy or full, or wanting more of something, food wise, stuff wise. We used to be into cars and stuff, but we've been very frugal for the past 20 something years. And so, hard to predict the future. It really is. And it's hard to predict gold and silver, whether the trends or the predictions or the graphs and statistics and wishes. I know there's people out there that wish the price to go down. Why? So they can buy more. I I'm an, that doesn't hurt my feelings to pay less because I'm still buying when I can, where I can, while I can, on a scheduled budget that I review from month to month, sometimes week to week. Um, I've already figured out in October, unless some surprise happens between now and when I pull the trigger, I got about 900, and I say about exactly $983 to disperse in a different fashion other than stack and fiat. And this is after I've already put in budget. So when I do my budget, since somebody's still here, here's how I do my budget. So, and and people, especially young folks in their automobiles, so they buy, they finance a car, and let's say their payments nowadays. There's people out there driving around in cars that they're spending $800, $1,200 per month on just for the payment. And then eventually, if you'd hope that'd be for a new car, right? That's not going to need maintenance for a couple of years, real maintenance besides oil changes, um, or repairs. Whoops. But so there's car insurance, and so if your premium is X amount per year, I don't know what that might be. Uh, you reduce it down to, let's call it $100 a month. Then, so I'll actually project what four new tires will be in 5 years. Let's say that we'll call that $1,000. I divide that by 5 times 12 by 60, and that's in the monthly budget. And so I sock those anticipated bills in different places in order to know what my true budget is. I highball groceries. Usually come out, you know, maybe 20%. I spend 20% less on groceries than I do every month. Then I put that into a different stack, a different budget, or I splurge. And then I get these reward certificates from Costco. Actually, the last time I got one, I bought beef. Other than hamburger, ground beef, I bought some, I bought steak. And like once a year, I do that. It's the only time I buy, expensive meat. It's expensive over here. Uh, it's a shame that frozen mahi mahi, fresh caught, not farm raised, fresh caught frozen mahi mahi is cheaper in Ohio at Kroger than it is here in Hawaii. And we're on an island surrounded by probably millions upon millions of mahi mahi. Crazy. But yeah, well, I appreciate that. It's a nice compliment. But there's some, I guess they're rounds, although the Britannias, that's a sovereign coin, I believe. Other than and I get the monarch character effigy I guess that's the obverse, heads versus tails, which is the reverse. I get it, but I'm not crazy about that. But the front part, That's cool looking. All the Perth mint. I mean, they'll have different series coming out within. Uh, Even the Canadian mint has had a wildlife, has some wildlife stuff, and then there's the lunar this and that, and those libertards. Those are really cool. Um, there's just all kinds of neat, and the bars, oh, and then the collectible bars. I've seen videos where they've got some kind of database or catalog or book where it lists all the different varieties, the year, sometimes even the mintage of bars, 1 ounce bars. And they got these custom cases where they can snap it in there, and that snapping sounds almost as satisfying as clinking a bunch of silver together. Well, with that thought, because it looks like it might either be down. Oh, there's two more. Um, so whoever just joined, thank you. Whoever's still here, thank you. I've been doing this now for 2 hours and 25 minutes and coming up on 35 seconds. I think I've worn out my welcome on YouTube. I Again, thank you very much. I'm glad I decided to do this. I vacillated on whether to or not, but so I appreciate everybody that's here. I'm going to go ahead and sign off. See you real soon. Until then, all right then. Now, how do I turn it off? Aloha. Yep, is that it? Oh, are you sure you want to stop streaming or steaming? Both. Okay.